हेलो। अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
Very Assalamu alaikum. Hi, how are you? Just one more minute to go. Let's wait for more people to join in. And then, Harima, do you want me to go first? Because I wanted the first 15 minutes for the Q&A so that we can keep that and we can go from there.
You can go first.
Okay? Wonderful. Hi, Abdullah, Burhan, Manur, Mudassir, Shubunmi, Suhan, and Zonish. Let's just give another minute or so that we can kick off our discussion. I'm glad, Abdullah, you're here because we'll start off with your perspective, which I really appreciated that you sent in the message. So I'll speak about that first, and then we'll go on to those of you who are doing the tasks and got the trick question on the task. Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me okay. Hi, Shiza. Hi, Sarah. Good to see you, Manur. Alrighty. So we are recording. I didn't think that we were recording. So welcome everybody. I'm not the speaker today. We're waiting for the speaker, but I just thought that we'll take the first 10-15 minutes in answering your question with regards to, the wonderful discussion that we are having. And I think from last time around to uh, this session, you would have had some thought on the SDGs and what they essentially mean to you in terms of just looking at how we are, whether what we are going to do as part of the project, whether that really makes any sense or not. That's a very, very honest and legitimate question that Abdullah had asked in the group. If you haven't gone through it, just scroll through and see what Abdullah was saying in terms of what is it, why is it that, we're looking at the governments who should be responsible for creating more substantial change in the world and making sure that the social problems are being solved. So then, where do we fit in, right? Where do we fit in as the youngsters, as the youth who are trying to do some things differently? And is it even worth it? That's also another very important question, that are all our efforts really worth it? And is it something that we need to be worried about? So there are two ways to look about it. And as much as we are trained and guided and counseled that, oh no, a country isn't doing so well because it's the government's responsibility. They have all the funding, they have all the budgets, they get our tax money put back into the economy to make things better. But does that stop businesses from running? No. Right? You see that government looks at one aspect which is more governance related, making sure that, in good societies, the governance structures are in place, which essentially means that, people have ample places to build their houses, you have good, clean sanitation facilities, you have access to education, you have access to good healthcare facilities, you have access to um, let's say your civic rights, you have access to infrastructure, you have access to good roads and transport and mechanisms. So what that means is that the government, yes, is the overall custodian of all of these things, but the governments only run with businesses, private businesses, who are actually identified that, this is not the only role of a government, and the government won't be able to do all of these things by themselves. So this is where the private sector comes in, which is the bigger corporate sector comes in. For example, if I take a show of hand, how many of you go to private schools or colleges? You can say yes in the chat. Me. Or do you go to a state run school? How many of you go to a private college, private school, private setup? Yeah, most of you, I see the chat hopping in, right? And why is that? It's not because it's not an offer that the government does not have, right? Yeah. there is a government school also, which shown me you go to a government school, right? So it's essentially the responsibility of the government to send and provide for good quality education at a free cost or a zero cost or a very, very minimal cost. And now think about your parents and ask them whether they went to private schools or they went to government schools. And then you go further back and ask your grandfathers and your grandmothers that where did they go through, and they'll also end up saying that they went to government schools. So there are two aspects of looking at things, that businesses will never stop running. Whatever resources are available in a country, they would be the ones, the private sector essentially would be the ones that is running the show. Because they say that the government isn't able to do everything themselves. And frankly, businesses see their own benefit. Because why else would all of you go to a private school, let your parents pay 4 times more the fee that you have to pay, rather than just hop on to a government school and get perhaps this better or a same level of education. It's not the same, and the private sector has identified that it's not the same, and that is why they've taken it as a business opportunity to start teaching and start making more money. Now, this is the government level, which is the top level, and then you have the private sectors, which is the corporates, the bigger sector, and then you have what we are trying to do. What we are trying as part of the fellowship at Mindworks, what we've been doing for the last 10 years is that why can't you as youngsters start looking at entrepreneurship as a career option? Yeah. If anybody asks you, Reed or Abdullah or Mudassir or Sarah or Manur, what do you want to be when you grow up? Remember that four-grade question? How many of you would have said, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to run my own business? Very few, right? We just have two, three options because we were always told about two, three options. You become a doctor, you become an engineer, you become an accountant, you become a lawyer, you become a teacher. That's about it, because that is mainstream what the careers look like, unfortunately, in the whole world. But what we are trying to do now is very consciously that we guide you and train you in becoming, thinking about small ideas that you can then start working on, slowly building up, taking micro enterprise and micro entrepreneurship as an option and taking it big. That does not mean that the first idea that you're going to work on is going to work. Maybe it takes you 3 ideas, maybe it takes you 10 ideas. But at least at the back head, at the back burner, or even as a main career opportunity, you have that idea that is going to make you some money. And you cannot learn it in the classroom, because no classroom in the world teaches you how to be self funded, self financed. Nobody teaches you. The only way for you to make money for yourself is if you start working on an idea and looking at entrepreneurship on a very, very early stage in your life. And that's what we are trying to do. So we are trying that all of you come on board, look at what the bigger picture is out there, and try to pick up an idea that tomorrow, Abdullah, you can package it and sell it and be at an international platform and say, this is how I am trying my teeny bit, my one drop in the big sea, in the big ocean, that is going to contribute towards a goal. All right. So it's not that you are going to solve all the problems of your country, or any country can solve any problem by a youngster standing up one day and saying, all right, I am here to change the world, let's get to it. It doesn't happen that way. But it's a reverse thing in which we say, no, Abdullah and Alicia and Burhan, they are all well aware of what the global dynamics are. They're well aware of it, and they're thinking ahead of their time and working on a solution that's solving it, potentially solving it, right? So you need to see that that is the perspective that you go ahead with. Our purpose in helping you choose an SDG is not something that we want that solve all of Africa's problem and Asia's problem and Australia's problem. You can't do that, right? Not with one idea, not with limited resources, but it is giving you a platform that when you are pitching at a international or a national platform, you know your stuff and you are well educated and you sound like somebody who has done his or her research, and the other person who is actually reviewing your work, who is looking at what you're doing, is in that frame of mind that, I know what Abdullah you were talking about, right? So you have to be in this fellowship with that perspective that all 21, 22 of you come out of. What is my personal goal out of this is that you come out of having a portfolio that you're super proud of, and you can then take it back as your first stepping stone and put it on your resume that you were a part of something which was massive. And where this is coming from is because, trust me, you guys, when I was in my O levels or and my A levels, and I was looking for what to put on my CV the first time around, I just had to put hobbies because there was nothing else that I could put, right? And that one page was the most difficult one for me to fill out. So what you want to do out of this is that take advantage of the experience and try to package something which goes wow. And today's session is all about that. So I'll let that for Ma'am Mariam to speak about. Absolutely, Shubhanmi. So what you're saying is exactly that. You need to come across as an advocate, if nothing else, right? As an advocate of somebody who promotes, let's say, green practices, right? You have to be somebody who is very, very conscious about, passionate about climate change. And you want to focus on people whose habits are, very, very climate conscious. So you're not using extra plastic. You're going for things that are more sustainable. You're going for packaging materials that are more sustainable. You are doing your own at home recycling. So, if nothing else on the SDGs, when you are picking up an SDG for you, for yourself, don't think that it's going to be a world game changing process, right? It could just be something that you can link your idea with, and it could also be an overlap of one or two SDGs, which is fine, which is perfectly all right. Okay. So, for example, if I give you an example, that if you want to say, okay, I want to facilitate the learning of females who are in a rural area and provide them quality education, right? So, that covers two aspects of two SDGs: one, the gender equality, and the other, quality education. So your idea could be linked up with two SDGs. Okay. And then find examples, like read up, do some research, ask Chat GPT what it has to say about, different ideas that you can work on, and then take one idea and make it your own. Because what's coming up next is, and how we have designed the fellowship is that we want that you have like a running prototype in place at the end of the 4 weeks. Okay, does that make sense, Abdullah? I hope it's something that will get you by and give you clarity. One final thing. Sorry. One final thing, my end is the tasks. So, Reed, the tasks were shuffled up on purpose. That was just to check whether you guys are actually going through the course or not. So, those who are doing task one, your questions are muddled up, but you can go forwards and backwards, and create your own thought process. So somebody did identify in the group, and I was just laughing because that's done on purpose. But yes, the task one is that you start thinking about your idea. What problem is it that it is solving? What are some of the potential solutions? that you are proposing, and then you build up on your idea. Okay. So with that, I'll hand over. I hope I will be here, but I'll let you guys carry on. Today's session is going to be fantastic. It's going to be really, really practical and give you some ideas. But I'll let Harima now take the lead, and I'll be here just in case anybody has any more questions. But feel free to ask Ma'am Mariam as many questions as you want. Open up your cameras when you make it more interactive. It's always better. Take care. Over to you, Harima.
Am I audible first?
Loud and
Okay.
clear.
Can you also make Ma'am Mariam the co-host? And okay. So, hello everyone. I haven't introduced myself before, but I'm Harima and I'm the program intern at Mindworks International. I was also a fellow like you before at the EM Fellowship program and then the hackathon, etc. And now I'm here. Today we have Ma'am Mariam Imran for the second session of the Gen AI Fellowship. And Ma'am Mariam is also part of the Mindworks International team as the marketing and communications lead, and she has extensive experience in in marketing and understanding how people and processes work. And today she will be talking about the art of storytelling because you all know in 2026 when literally AI can do everything, what is going to make your idea stand out is how you present them and how you pitch them and how you use the art of storytelling. So without wasting any further time, I will hand over the mic to Ma'am Mariam. Make the most of this opportunity and try to keep your cameras on because let's respect the speaker and make the most of the session.
Thank you so much, Harima, and thank you so much, Ma'am Noor, as well for this opportunity. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. I am aware that we are um, a very diverse cohort and we are joining from different time zones in the world. So, good morning to and good afternoon. It's morning here in London, but I hope you all are doing extremely well. I hope you are energized, not feeling that lazy Sunday vibes today. Um, Thank you, Harima. You've done my brief introduction, and I'm not going to talk more about myself, but just so that we can connect to today's topic, I want to talk about why I'm choosing to speak on the topic that we have picked today. So, I am a business major. I have my degree is in business, and when I was in university, something that really clicked me because as a university student, especially when we're coming from a background with public education, not a lot of opportunities to explore other options. Diverse education is not really a concept in public schools. Um, I just had this idea in my mind that, you just have to make a business run. There's going to be some accounting, there's going to be, some ad creation, and there's going to be some planning, and the business is just going to run itself. But when obviously when I came to the business school and I had a couple of a few interesting um, professors, I started interning with Mindworks. I saw that there's another part of business running, and not just as a big company, just as yourself, as your personal self, treat yourself as a business where things are much more creative than one plus one is two, and having a budget and exploring and distributing that budget across different channels. So and I was hooked with that because as a creative person, throughout my teenage, throughout my initial education, a part of me was not allowed to be creative because studies, this is what you have to do, grades, this is what you have to do, this book that you have to revise over and over again and give an exam. There was not a lot of room to be creative. And when I saw that I can be creative, explore the creativity in me while being a business student and being a business professional, um, things can look really interesting for me. Even if I'm struggling, even if it's really new, but at least I will look at things with a colorful mind, with a colorful lens, I would say, and explore things in a very different way, see the meaning behind things in a very different way. So this is why I wanted to choose this particular topic. The topic is about branding and storytelling in branding. And you might think that, why do we need storytelling with brands? Like, just make a logo, um, put some product imagery on it, and, sell it. Put a huge budget on it. So it sells and a lot of people see it and it's going to work. Is that so? It isn't. Okay. And I'm going to give you a very teaser, a small, tiny teaser to how storytelling and how brands have used storytelling without us even knowing that they're painting a picture and telling a story about their product and how they've embedded themselves in our brains. Okay. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen and we're going to do a quick activity before we go into concepts and before we go into something that is practicing that storytelling. Okay, so I want the microphones to be on because I don't want to feel like that I'm the only one who's doing all the talking. So make sure that you participate and ask questions, have a discussion. So like I said, it's a creative process, and creativity is not always the best when one person is speaking, right? So I'm sharing my screen, and we're gonna see a couple of logos before we dive into something deeper and something, theoretical. We're going to see a couple of logos, and I want each one of you to start writing something or how you feel when you look at these logos in the chat box. And I would love if you can open the mic and start saying it one by one. So I can see Manur now. Is there any volunteer or should I start just picking names? Okay, I think Harima, I'm gonna start picking names. Is that okay? Okay. Manur, you're the one who's coming on the list, the first, Manur Fatima. When you see Rolex, what does it make you feel? What do you think about it?
I think that it's a luxury brand for watches.
It's a it's a luxury brand of watches. Great. Have you ever seen a Rolex up close?
Yeah.
Yes. And have you ever visited the store and, maybe thought about buying it?
No, not thought about
No.
buying it, but like I've seen.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. But even without owning it and even without, going in a store and thinking about buying it, you know that it's a luxury store. It's a luxury brand of watches, right? And do you think that you're old enough to um, know this? Or, do you think that it is a product for you as a teenager, as a young adult?
I don't know. I think it depends on your budget. I think it depends on your background. Maybe a teenager like me who's maybe much richer, for them it may be like, yes, they would want to buy it. But for me, I don't think I'd waste money on something like that.
Okay. Okay. Um, who else agrees with her? Show of hands would be fine as well, guys. Okay. None of the boys. Okay, Abdullah. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I have Burhan in my list next. Burhan, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yes.
Okay. Next is Red Bull. What do you
Uh,
think about Red Bull? When you see Red Bull, what comes in your mind next?
The first thing that comes into my mind is adventure and adrenaline.
Absolutely, absolutely. And is Red Bull something, an equipment, some um, training, or a product that actually helps you to go on adventures?
Yes and no, maybe.
Mm, But I mean, think about it. Yes, because they have
Uh,
created that vision and that story in your mind that Red Bull gives you wings, right?
yes.
You can't logically actually have a can of Red Bull and climb to the top of whatever mountain is coming in your mind and jump from that mountain. You can't really expect yourself to, I'll open a can of Red Bull, and the next thing I'm going to do is jump off a plane, right? But that illusion, the first thing that came into your mind when you saw that logo was not it's an energy drink. It was it gives you wings. It builds adventures. It's thrilling. You know, makes
Yes.
sense. Makes sense.
Yes. Yes.
Who else agrees with us here? Anyone? Nobody agrees to this? Okay. Okay. Abdullah is agreeing. Shiza is agreeing. So what has Red Bull done here, guys? They could easily just, pick a product, the bottle or the can, and say, buy Red Bull energy drink for adults, not safe for children, and plaster it all over the world, expecting people to see it more and use it eventually, right? There's so many alternatives of energy drinks, cheaper alternative of energy drinks, um, which probably do think will have the exact same flavor, but I don't even remember the name of them because the reason why I remember Red Bull is not because it's a really terribly flavored energy drink. It's something that's exciting and has been exciting since we have been seeing it on our screens, right? Let's go to Disney. I want the girls to speak now. I know you guys are a bit older than to be associated with Disney. But what comes in Disney when I say Disney? Who should I pick? Otherwise, you're not going to speak. Sarah. We have a Sarah. I'm hoping that I'm not butchering your name.
Yes, I'm Sarah.
Sarah. Sarah, what comes in your mind when you see Disney?
Imagination,
Yeah. Anything else?
and dream, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a specific um color or a specific visual come in your mind when you see the word Disney?
Colorful, not something specific.
Okay. Okay. So Sarah said Disney reminds her of dreams. Any other attributes you can put to Disney? Maybe Alicia, Ishal. Okay, why? Okay. Let me ask
Mariam, there are
someone.
tons of answers coming in the chat. So if you have the chat
Oh,
open,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if you can see the chat, then you'll see that they're all
Okay.
answering there.
Oh, okay, perfect. Fairy
All right.
tale, kids, movie, characters. Ah, we're talking. The Disney Castle. Shiza said Disney Castle. Faridullah, of course you can speak. Of course. Okay.
Yeah. So can I speak?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so what I wanted to say, what I wanted to point out was that in the Disney, in these words, you can see that it's very like the letters are very like curved, and this creates like a playful effect, which
Yeah,
you can connect with Disney because I think it's like for kids cartoons,
yeah,
and
yeah.
kids movies. So that playfulness is something I noticed in like the letters and the font of Disney.
Absolutely. And guys, I think we just have our answer here. Um, Not just that none of you said Mickey Mouse when you say Disney, although Mickey Mouse is a huge identity for Disney. But all of you picked up on playfulness, the Disney Castle, cartoons, kids, princesses, something really dreamy, something that's not really um, worldly or realistic, right? Even the font that they've used is playful and it's dreamy in a way that this kind of font is not taken seriously. It's not a serious font with a lot of sophistication. It's a playful font. So Disney could just be like a random cartoon on a television. Because mind you, when Disney came out, there was not a lot of cartoons coming here and there on television. It was a very small um there was a very small space for television and motion graphics, and they could just easily get away with being a cartoon company, right? But over time, when things changed and there were other competitors coming in, Disney established itself for the dreaminess and for the playfulness and fairy tale aesthetic of their brand. And this is not just found in the type of movies, the type of cartoons they produce. None of them are serious action movies. They're all for fun. They're all for children. But it's also looked where when you go to Disney World, or if you've heard about Disney World, if you've seen pictures of Disney World, that's also exaggerated in a way that it looks like a dream. Um, so so Disney is also, telling a story of a dream and telling you to live in a dream that is something not with the reality. You have the favorite one of almost everybody. Everybody talks about Nike, however you pronounce it. Everybody talks about this tick. Like it's so cliche in branding conversations. There's not even a word here, right? There's no written script, or there's no text to say that this is what brand. But I think all of you can recognize what brand is this. Yeah? Okay. So what do you think about when yeah, absolutely. So what do you think about when you see Nike or Nike? Shoes, sports, yeah. Speed and motion, yes. Yes. Running, yeah. Yes, Ibrahim, just do it. If just do it is their story, right? It's no longer about we're selling shoes. It's about we're selling your capacity and your energy to do whatever you want to do, whether it's running, whether it's diving, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's kicking a football, just do it, right? So over the years, exactly, inspiration and empowering, that's exactly where I was coming, Hafsa. Over the years, Nike has picked up these superstars in sports and athleisure where they tell a story that, if Ronaldo can do it, so can you. If this brand ambassador can do it, so can you. And they have partnered with organizations that are for people with differently abled skills, people who can't walk, athletes who are doing athletics on wheelchairs, sportsmen who are on wheelchairs, and they have created that space that, it's not just for someone who's running. We're not just selling shoes, we're selling a dream that you can also do it. So I believe at this point, we do understand. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see you all. That just a logo and a name is not enough for our brand, right? You have to create a story. You have to tell a story. You have to place everything so strategically that it doesn't look misplaced, right? From your font to your colors to how you want to speak to the customer, how you want to speak to the audience tells a lot about how much thought you've put into your brand, right? And the first thing that you do is you basically sketch out what do you want your brand to represent. It's not the logo. It is not the font. Whenever you first come to the drawing board, if it's your own brand, fabulous. If you're doing a consultation for someone else who just says, guys, I just want to open a bakery. The second question you ask is, okay, who is this bakery? What for? Like, what is your target audience? Who's going to visit that bakery? Is it a luxury bakery or is it like something homemade thing that you order from your app from the website and it gets delivered, right? Who is going to see your brand the most? And what does that audience want you to tell about that bakery? Right? You play in reverse. You might think that once you think about creating a business, you think about making a logo and making a website. No, this is what we're reconstructing. This is what we're doing with storytelling. That before you even go and create a logo, make sure you understand what is your brand and who does it represent. We have people coming in as well, guys, at the moment. So I'm just going to keep them coming in. Okay. Do you have any questions at this point? Okay, I have questions for you guys. So let's do another activity because I want everybody to speak or at least type it in the chat. Okay. Let's talk about favorite brands. Can you guys see my screen? And the chat is also open in front of me.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let's talk about, everybody has to pick one brand that they really like. You don't have to be an active buyer of the brand. You don't have to be someone who's going there every single day or has a lot of products from that particular brand. Just pick one brand, any brand that you look at and you say, yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I love what they do. I would love to, speak more about them and visit them and buy more from them when I can. Why do you like it, and how does it make you feel? I'm going to start first. So I know we have a lot of younger audience here, so I'm going to try to pick something that resonates with you all, right? So one of my favorite brands is Lush. Have you guys ever heard about Lush? It's a cosmetic skincare brand. No. Okay, no problem. We're going to see Lush in a bit. I'm going to talk about it. I want you all to actually, as part of your homework, just go and look at Lush UK. Okay. And you'll see that why is it so different? So my favorite brand is Lush, and why do I like it is because it's a natural skincare brand. It believes in sustainability, zero plastic, recycle friendly, cruelty free, and they employ marginalized or women and women in need in their stores. Apart from that, the biggest why I love Lush is they're an active supporter of a lot of the causes that I support, right? So better skincare, better women health, making sure that women have some kind of representation in business. Women have equal representation in stores. They speak about natural beauty. They speak about sustainability. And the most interesting thing is they have differentiated themselves as a brand, a cosmetic, high street cosmetic brand who is not on social media in this day and age, which is something that's super interesting. And that's something that over the last couple of months, I've been studying this brand for my own project. And I have just hands down to whoever has done this branding and whoever has made this marketing plan, whoever was the mastermind behind this. So all of the things that I care about, they care about. And they just not plaster a logo on their packaging that they care about it. They actually show it by their stores, by their positioning, how they represent on social media, on the digital space, that they're actually working for sustainability, working for women, and working for natural products for our skins. Right. And how does it make me feel? Really exciting. I don't own a single thing from Lush, to be honest. It's expensive. It doesn't suit my pocket. I don't own it. I have been to the store, walked out quietly, enjoyed the experience, but it really, really makes me feel excited to even go to a store and experience what they've and experience the setting that they've set, right? So one brand per person, and I want you guys to just say, how does it make you feel? It could be just 3 words, 4 words, 4 sentences. I would love if you guys speak up, but you can use the chat as well.
I would like to say something.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, actually, my favorite brand is Levi's, the jeans brand.
Mm-hmm.
So why do I like it? The reason I like it is not because of like Levi's or anything, but actually like I'm a huge fan of Bollywood, like Shah Rukh Khan and Hrithik Roshan.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So so every movie I see, like whatever, like Shah Rukh Khan, he wears a lot of like jeans. So every time I always like try to go to Levi's and try to purchase a similar jeans. Actually, the last purchase I made was because I was watching this movie of Hrithik Roshan and I saw a
Uh-huh.
jeans he was wearing. It was a dark blue like Levi's jeans, and I don't know, I liked it so much. So then the next day I just decided I'm gonna have to go to Levi's and buy that jeans.
Ritila, let's stay here for the rest of the audience as well, right? What does Shah Rukh Khan and Hrithik Roshan made you feel when you saw those jeans? Cool boy,
Yeah, like really cool, like
right?
aura, as they
Did you?
say.
Yeah, absolutely. And what has you do know that this was a strategic placement of Levi's in that film, right?
Yeah,
Levi's probably paid Shah Rukh Khan or the filmmakers so they
yeah,
can see that the Levi's logo, the wings on the jeans
yeah,
in the
yeah,
shot, right? And what
yeah,
have this told the customer or the consumer, the watcher, yourself, that we're a
yeah.
cool brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have story told you in your brain that we are cool without even ever saying
Yeah,
that we are cool, without ever using the
yeah,
word cool. They have just made you
mm-hmm.
feel that it's cool, right?
Yeah, have indeed.
Mamnu is saying that denim has the highest water footprint. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just
And
on a
over the
lighter
years,
note, yeah, but but Reed, I love that story. But you know what? Denim consumes the most amount of water, that natural water reserves to get made. So you might want to look into Levi's again, okay, and see what they do for the environment.
Okay, yeah.
Just kidding, but I love that story.
anyone has a similar story? I love such stories. Okay, hold on. Guys,
We have
Nike.
Mudassir sharing that Rolex due to the watches
Mm-hmm.
and quality. Mudassir, how many
Mm-hmm.
Rolex watches do you have? I don't have any as yet. There's one other one, Abdullah's. Go ahead, Mariam, you can read them.
Okay. We have one saying, um, Nike, sportwear, footwear, and youth energy motivation. Absolutely. So, like we discussed, that Nike has actually told the story of just doing it, being motivated, having energy, and that's why you probably associate that little attribute with Nike and love the brand. We'll talk about the importance of logo when creating a brand. It's a really good question. Tesla is one of my favorite brands because it's very innovative and something actually represents innovation, sustainability, and the future of technology. And it makes really hopeful and amazed at the same time. Abdullah, where are you? Come on. Let's open the mic. Let's have a discussion. There you are. I see you. Come on. Where are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. Perfect. Abdullah, how many Teslas do you have or you have driven? None, right? Have you experienced a Tesla? No. But even though you haven't, sorry guys, I'm just connecting my charger. Even if you haven't, you know what it stands for, right? Um, you know what it represents, and you're still hopeful and amazed by it, right? I'm pretty sure Tesla doesn't even do ad commercials in the whole world. They just, we never see it on TV. Buy a Tesla, like we usually see car ads on TV, Hyundai, Corolla, not Corolla, Toyota. A lot of Japanese brands do come on TV with their ads, with the new car editions, or at least on the newspaper, there's always sometimes, an ad. How many times have you actually seen an ad of Tesla?
I don't remember. I haven't seen any of from Tesla or like even other companies like SpaceX or anything like that. But I do know about them. Like they are doing an amazing work.
Yeah.
They're very amazing for future, for sustainability and like innovation. Like that's actually quite insane and amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even if you're not their direct customer yet, hopefully one day,
Yeah.
but you still know about them. How? Because they've told the story of innovation and of technology through different conversation. It doesn't have to be a car that they're selling. They don't sell cars. They're selling technology and they're selling innovation to youth like yourself. That one day I'm going to get a Tesla because it's so cool and it's so innovative, so forward and sustainable, right? Okay,
Yeah.
I saw this one, um, Jareer, Manur Fatma. I have not heard about this brand.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was in
Crumble. I
Saudi.
love Crumble.
Yeah, it was. I used to live in Saudi before, so over there was this brand, and I really liked it because, like, I am a reader. I love books, and it was the kind of bookstore that wasn't just a library. Like, they used to have two, three floors in the building, and they used to sell like the special, artifacts and stuff, and I even gave one of my friends this really cute bookmark that I found there, and they also used to sell toys and a lot of other stuff. But I like I like their vibe, like how it's not just a bookstore and it's so innovative. And like whenever I used to go there, I used to feel excited, like, oh my God, there's so much here that I would like to buy. So like yeah, I guess that's one of my favorite brands.
You get the me feeling and something nostalgic, something that makes you calm, right?
And
And
I
I'm
used to live
sure,
there.
yeah, go ahead.
I was like born there, so I've been to that bookstore like for 10 years. So like I have a
Yeah,
connection to it.
yeah, yeah. So that's very common in such brands, in such places that sell books. Homey feeling, nostalgia. They're not just selling the book. You can buy the book from anywhere on the footpath as well. You can download it from um, uh, Amazon. You can read it on Kindle, but they're selling the experience that you feel, and they're telling a story of experience. Pretty books, pretty notebooks, nostalgia, the smell of the paper when they're creating an environment that's friendlier to you, right? Oh, I love this cookie brand, Burhan. Crumble feels special, amazing reward, and I like it due to their amazing cookies. Burhan, let's talk about it. I think I like it. I like it for a lot more than their cookies. For everybody who's not from Pakistan, Crumble is a Pakistani brand of cookies. They're these luxury New York style cookies. And they have gone huge in the last couple of years. I think 2, 3 years. A little bit backstory is that the founder started baking cookies when he was in university and selling it to his team dorm mates and classmates. And then after getting a degree in engineering um, from an engineering college, he started a cookie business because he was done with engineering and he had created the story of being an entrepreneur, being successful with his cookies, and he just went into the market with it. Rahan, is there anything unique about Crumble that you want to share?
Oh, I would say their marketing because it was something that
Yeah,
made me go to their store and
yeah,
buy that cookie. And I have been waiting for a while to go again. Let's see when I
yeah.
go again to the store.
Okay, Mudassir, absolutely. Their marketing, if you look at their marketing and their social media page, you wouldn't even, for a minute, you would be like, is this a meme page or is it like, what are you guys up to, right? Like, are you selling cookies or is it something big? And they have put themselves as a corporate, right? They have put themselves as a meme page. They have put themselves as fun, youthful people who love cookies and people who love to make fun of their friends. So they have this created this story that we're not boring, we're not sophisticated, we're just fun loving, and we love to troll. So that's what all of the youth, especially when they're in their early teens, late teens, all of the teenagers, early 20s, that's their target audience. It's not someone like me, who's much older, and that craze of trying trendy things has just died down over the years. It's someone like you guys who are really fresh in on your own, who recently have had this um, luxury and this freedom to try whatever they want to try with their friends, or going out with their friends on an everyday basis, meeting their friends on an everyday basis. And that's who Crumble represents, right? So their branding is amazing. Hershey's. Javeria said Hershey's. Okay. Javeria, is it just the flavor or is it how they're wrapped? The Hershey's Kisses. Where is Javeria? Oh, there you are. Hershey's is a big American brand, by the way, guys. It's an American chocolate brand, and they have marketed themselves and created. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the flavor. So, why did you pick Hershey's over Cadbury or Toblerone, or what made you think to try it for the first time? Was their positioning at sharing love. The Hershey's Kisses are one of the most famous tiny, like bite-sized chocolates in the world. Whether you're from the UK, whether you're from Europe, whether you're from the Middle East, from South Asia, Africa, Australia, wherever you're from, you have heard of Hershey's Kisses. And mind you, here in the UK, we don't like Hershey's at all. We think American chocolate is a disgrace to chocolate. Europe doesn't like American chocolate at all, right? But they still love Hershey's for how they have positioned themselves as sharing love. Okay, so this was all these brands what we have shared together, brands that we think about on a regular basis, brands that we see on a regular basis, how they have done storytelling and placed in them their imagery in our minds. YOLO, Pakistani frozen yogurt brand. Oh wow. Okay, no problem with us here. You can always rejoin. Let's talk about the YOLO. Mohammed Ibrahim. It's also serving brand which is you choose your own prices. Excellent. Excellent. I still have to do some research on it, Ibrahim. I'm a big Froyo fan, and when I was in Pakistan, when I was growing up, the only Froyo we had was, I think it was Tutti Frutti, and it got closed really soon after they came to the market. So I'm really excited to do some research. Oyo, okay, no problem, Ibrahim. I'll do my research on it. Thank you all for sharing the brands. And now we have a vision of what storytelling is like. It's not about characters. It's not about being emotional. It's not about having a plot. It's about connecting with an audience about something that truly care about. You can find another pair of sneakers down the road from, your local shoe shop, right? They might even probably be cheaper, might even last you longer. But the reason you will associate towards Nike is the way they have established themselves in your heads. You might let's take another example of Rolex. You might never you might have never seen a Rolex or have a Rolex, held a Rolex in your hand, but the fact that you still want to and you still know about this brand, even though you're way too younger, because Rolex is something that older adults wear, right? It's a luxury that, people in their late 30s, early 40s would wear. Even if you see their marketing and their branding, their imagery, you will see an older model wearing a Rolex. It won't be ever a younger 20-year-old boy modeling the watch, right? But you still have this connection of luxury that if I have Rolex, I've made it, right? That's the luxury storytelling that they have done. Okay. Any questions so far? Anything you guys? Yes, absolutely, Mudassir. They don't sell watches. Absolutely, absolutely. You can buy a Casio watch, and it will last as long as a Rolex would last if you take care of it. Same as Rolex. But what Rolex sells is premium, luxury, and status. This word status is what it sells. Same with Hermes, same with all of these luxury brands. You can have a bag, carry a bag from anywhere would last you long as much as a normal bag would last you long. But what they have done is that you thinking that you've made it in life and you've achieved your targets in life if you have that luxury in your hands. Okay. Let's talk about now that we have seen so many examples. We know that, brand is not just about logo. Yeah. Question here. What are some of the elements that go into a story and make it unforgettable and memorable? Buran, we will come to this, but for just your, just so that quickly I can answer your question is, you start with who you're selling to, what is your target audience, what is the feeling you want to associate with your brand, and what do you want them to feel? What do you want the target audience to feel when they see your brand, use your brand? Okay, so there are three elements: who the people are that you're selling to, how do you want to associate, or what attributes you want to give to your brand in terms of colors, fonts, personality, etc. And third is, what do you want the end user, the consumer, the viewer to see or to feel about your brand? So there are three things. I have a question. If we have to start a brand, how can we develop such a connection with people? Alicia, we'll do this activity as well. Even if we don't have enough time today, we can do another session. I have a lot of content that I have compiled for you guys to practice it. But we can start with asking ourselves again the same question. If I'm making this brand, if I want to set up a business, who am I selling to? Right? So let's just take an example here of a clothing brand, right? Who am I selling to is one of my biggest questions, because that's not just going to talk about what pricing would be, but it also about what kind of feel that store would have, what kind of feel that the logo would have, all those kind of things. Secondly, you want to not just say what kind of budget the consumers would have, what kind of age bracket that the consumer would have, right? Are they younger people? Is this brand for the younger audience? Is it for, older audience? Am I targeting youth, Gen Zs who are into a specific kind of style, minimal style, or if I'm targeting older aunties, older adults who like to go a little overboard with their styling, who is going to buy this brand? And the third thing is, how do I want them to feel when they buy this brand? What kind of personality would my consumer have? For example, let's talk about Chanel. Everybody would know Chanel. It's a huge luxury fashion brand, right? And Louis Vuitton. Two equally luxurious brands, extremely different vibes. Chanel is very quiet, not a lot of patterns, basic colors, black and white. It's all very black and white, monotone. They have established themselves with that monotone color palette. And Louis Vuitton would have their specific logo everywhere, would have it inside of their bags red. Is targeting those people with the same amount of money, with the same budgets, but very different personalities. So their logos, their runways, their pictures, their models would also represent that kind of style. Is it quiet and subtle and minimal, or is it something extra or something that makes a statement, right? So you have to think about, who do you want to sell to, right? I'm going to give you an example. It's a real life example. Have you ever heard about thrifting, guys, or buying second-hand clothing, or not just clothing? It could be anything secondhand. Show of hands, yes, absolutely. Okay, yes, okay. And where do you usually thrift? Like on your local markets, mostly? Yes, I think all of us would have similar. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. What if I tell you that this is a thrifting store? It's the same model, reselling clothes, um, used clothes, used footwear. What they've done is that they wanted to be more fun, more accepting, and they wanted their products to be priced a bit, on the premium side of things. So they've put a logo there, they've made it colorful, they've made the logo look like that, it's a South Asian aesthetic logo that's reselling South Asian clothing. And just doing this, they have stood out from all the other thrifting that we usually don't talk about, that this sweater is thrifted. We would just be like, oh yeah, my uncle got it from abroad, or got it from my aunt. She was visiting somewhere. She got me this sweater. Oh yeah, no, I just got this altered. This was my older sister's, and she just didn't want to wear it anymore. So we never talk about it being secondhand. But to break that kind of taboo, what these people have done is that they have created a logo, a bright, fun logo. They've selected a font. They have used colors that are bright and bright and friendly, and they have given the logo a personality. Okay. Now, this particular brand, if it's shown like this, would represent fun, exciting, colorful patterns, and making a statement with what you've bought. Right? However, if the same brand is this, the same brand, this was actually a proposal for a brand that needed two different kind of views to their branding. Same brand, different colors, different logo, different font, completely different feel. This was fun and exciting. This is quiet, sustainable, and I'm cool, but I'm quiet about it. Right? The font has changed. They're more sophisticated. The palettes have changed. Again, sophisticated, not bright, very monotone, the brand itself is screaming that I'm calm, I'm classic, and I'm simple. I'm not exciting. I just want to be, just don't talk to me. I'm an introvert brand. And their pattern is also quiet, right? So the same brand, the same people with two very drastically different identities and two drastically different consumers, right? So before you even create your product and put it out for selling, make sure you understand that who are you selling to? Are you selling to the introverted people, quiet people who don't want so many colors, who just want to, buy, enjoy a product and be okay with it, but still have that satisfaction of it being luxury? Or are you selling to people who are excited all the time? Right? And this is not like one thing is wrong and the other thing is right. It's about you differentiating yourself and making your market and audience as niche as possible, narrowing down who you would be targeting. And this is why it's more and more important in this day and age that You have to get in the shoes of your customer to understand him better, because we're not creating, the aim is not to have many customers, right? The aim is not to sell to everybody, right? The aim is to sell to the same customers again and again and again, right? So we talk about luxury brands and brands that stand out. They don't sell to everybody. Tesla is very prominent about their pricing. They're not selling to everybody, but they've made themselves a wish list product for almost everybody. Same with Rolex, same with Chanel, same with Crumble, right? Crumble is not being, if I'm not eating Crumble, my grandfather is not eating Crumble, but he knows of Crumble, right? Because they have established themselves in a way that even if you're not their direct consumer, if you're not their direct customer, you know them and you recognize them. Okay. So I believe this answers a couple of the questions we were having in the chat, that, where do we start? Where do we start when we're building a brand or creating a brand? So consistency is key in all of these things. Okay. So when we're talking about brand, we've talked about personality. Like, what is the brand? Is it a female associated brand, or is it a male associated brand? So brands can have, some kind of associations with gender as well. There's a lot of pages on Insta that sells thrifted clothes. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Okay, values. What are the values of your brand? Right? We don't want a valueless brand anymore. We want brands to have values. People are retaliating. Customers are speaking out against brands that are not sustainable anymore, that have bad practices, right? For fashion, this whole sustainability campaign and SDGs, inshallah, you will speak about SDGs as well in this cohort and in this session. Not in this session, but in this boot camp. But ever since sustainability is one of the biggest aims of the world, to make the world more sustainable for the next generation, customers have stopped buying from brands that are not sustainable, who are practicing and experimenting on animals. So values and associating values to your brand is very important. We talked about Levi's a little while ago. And since it was released and the research was made public and people started reading, normal consumers started reading and accessing that research, that jeans create a lot more water waste, or the most water waste in the entire world, Levi's has actually taken an action on it. They've made their processes more sustainable. They're creating more and more darker washed jeans that require less bleaches, and they're cutting down on their color variety in their jeans, right? They are reusing jeans, and they have this. Read up on it, guys. I've done a research study on it a while back in my university days, but they've actually taken an action from it because their sales were getting hit. The values were not aligning with the customer. Reputation. Whatever feedback you have, whatever comments you have from the customer, integrate it in the brand so your reputation is improved and it remains stable. And obviously, customer experience is what the reputation would be developing. Visual identity and story. So visual identity, we just looked at it, that two very different visual identities can tell extremely different stories, right? One brand, one concept with two drastically different identities can develop really different stories, right? Just think about this point when you are creating your own brand, or even if you're creating a brand for someone else as a consultant, you have to have a one-on-one session with that person and say, okay, stop thinking about your brand and you want to start selling. Stop it right now and start thinking about who do you want to sell, what do you want to represent, and how do you want it to look aesthetically. What colors do you want to integrate? What values do you want to integrate? Because all of these things, personality, value, and who is your end customer, is going to dictate what visuals are you going to use. Like we just saw in the thrifting brand, right? 2 different fonts were used to give a different feel to the customer. So visual identity is not just a random pick that you were going through fonts and you liked this font, so that's why you picked a font. No, colors have meanings, and fonts also have meanings. Disney has a playful font. Chanel has a very sophisticated serif font. Rolex has a serif font, right? Nike has a clean font, which basically makes people believe that we're for everybody. We want everybody to feel that they can do it. Okay, so like I said, attributes are really important. What is your brand, right? What are the qualities of the brand? And I'm going to share the slide deck, guys, and everything else with Musfira, so she can share it with you as well. Is it fun? Is it bold? Is it reliable? And then what we need to do here is to pick at least 3 attributes that go together, match with each other, and represent our brand. Let's talk about McDonald's here for a while. McDonald's, what are the attributes of McDonald's when you see the M and you see the M being, McDonald's ka M? What do you see? What do you think about McDonald's? I have this slide here somewhere. Can you see the screen? Can you see the McDonald's? Okay, hold on. Let me just
Right now, it's just showing the slides that you were displaying before.
Okay. So in branding and in the world that color revolves in, not just branding, anything that you're painting in art, in color theory, every color has a meaning behind it, right? Yellow is for optimism, red is for love, black is for class, white is also for class, but in a different way. Blue is for trust, green is for sustainability. And you will notice that all of these brands that have used colors are just not picked randomly, right? They're using those colors for a meaning. Why does yellow M is yellow M? Not because the fries are yellow. That's not the case. It's because yellow is warmth and optimism and happiness. That's why the happy meal is called a happy meal, not a sad meal, not a kid's meal, right? Because of their color, they have established themselves as a happy brand. Okay? This is the color wheel that you would, it's not a wheel, it's just like a cheat sheet of basic colors. So when we're using red in the logo, it's exciting, it's loving, it's full of energy. Red Bull has red in it. Levi's has red in it, right? And they both have this attribute of strength. Okay, pink, compassion, sincerity, sophistication. I don't think we have any brand. I don't have a brand that's coming to my mind that has a very pink logo. Does anyone can? Yes, Alicia, yellow is also hopeful. Absolutely. Any brands that would have a pink logo? Can anyone think of a brand? Yahoo. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And is it sweet and sophisticated? Baskin Robbins. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very good. It is sweet and it is relatively a sophisticated ice cream brand, right? Orange. Confidence. Bravely. What do we have? Nickelodeon is what comes in my mind when I see orange. Is confident in its sociability as well. Fanta as well. Yes. Fanta's those cartoon ads that Fanta makes speaks of sociability and bravery. Purple. JBL, absolutely. Guys, any purple looking brands that feel luxurious, ambition, loyalty? Purple is basically associated with the color of the British monarchy. So in here in the UK, you can't you really use purple as a brand color because it's the color of the monarchy. Cadbury as well. Yes, yes. Yellow. We just discussed Barbie is pink. Very good, Ishal. I don't know why I didn't think of it. Very good. Very good. Yellow. McDonald's was one. Even I think Burger King has some kind of yellow in it. Brown. Any brown colored brands? Pink Panther is pink. Oh, you guys are so cool. And and can you feel those attributes in these brands that you're talking about? Pink Panther is pink. Pink Panther is also compassionate. Barbie is sweet and sophisticated. Teams is purple. Yes, absolutely. And it does speak of ambition and luxury as well. Yellow, obviously, we've talked about it. Lay's is also yellow. Happiness is what we associate with Lay's when we're opening a packet of Lay's and sharing with everybody. Brown? Any brown brands, guys? Hershey's, yeah. It's a simple Hershey's kiss. Absolutely. Absolutely. The biggest one is Facebook here. They have put this color, even though it's not so trustworthy, but Meta, Facebook has put this color, even Twitter has put this color as blue so that it just automatically people think that it's trustworthy. Gucci, Armani, all of these luxury brands, their basic general logo will always be in the brown, black, white family with a little bit of their um, key color. Okay. Did it at least have an idea of what kind of color palettes you can use and why do we use different colors for different things, different brands? Yeah. Now, would you be comfortable selecting a color for your brand after making sure that you have their attributes and personality listed down? Okay. So these are the things that come into storytelling and come into branding that are apart from a color. Color is huge, but there are few things that do associate with the storytelling when you're creating a brand. Like we said, typography. The font that you use in your logo speaks louder than anything. Disney is the biggest example that we discussed in this session. Even the font is funny. Even the font says that I'm fun, right? Photography. What kind of photography are you using? Are you showing people fun photographs with a vintage filter on because you associate with that group of people? Or are you showing them clear pictures, sharp pictures? Or are you not showing pictures at all? There's no human representation. There's just cookies all the way through, right? There is nobody holding that cookies. It's just you capturing how a cookie is made and displayed on the shelf. Packaging. Packaging is the biggest marketing asset that we have. No matter you're holding the packaging and crossing the street, it's displayed in a departmental store, it's thrown away in trash, and a recycler is recycling it. Your logo on the packaging is your marketing, which is never going to die, right? You will always make it visible, even if the customer is not seeing your ad, not on your Facebook, not on your Instagram, haven't seen your website, but you would know what Lux soap is like because you've seen it in the market so many times. You would know what a particular Colgate toothpaste is like because you've seen it so many times in the market. The packaging has the logo on it, right? And when the packaging is made premium, every single opening has thought towards it. I'm opening the box. There's a note card that says thank you with my logo on it, right? Crumble is wrapping the cookie in paper. There's Crumble logo on it, right? McDonald's has the box of fries that has a logo on it. Even if you throw away the box, someone else is going to find it and see that this is McDonald's. The packaging is your biggest marketing asset. Tone of voice. Are you using a youthful tone of voice with a lot of puns, right? Or are you making a statement that is sophisticated and for the older audience, right? You can sell a cookie like delicious, chocolatey, and divine. Rich with, made with Cornish butter and Belgium chocolate, right? This is one tone of voice. And the other tone of voice is, our cookies will blow your mind. If you want to get a cookie, you got to call me right now. This is my number, right? Call me, get me if you want to eat me, right? This is full of fun, tone of voice, completely different vibe of the brand. Again, shapes also, when a logo is being created, like there's a thought towards it. Audi has 4 circles. They're not just 4 circles. They're 4 wheels of a car. We all know that. BMW, separate the BMW, you see BMW. It's not just, this circle with 2 colors, right? Similarly, Toyota, it's not just 2 circles or 2 ovals like this. It's basically the T of the Toyota, right? And music. Is it playful music, trendy music that's trending on TikTok? Or is it something that you would be playing in a sophisticated 5-star restaurant? Or if I don't want to use music at all, I want to use nature sounds. I'm a hugely religious brand. In Pakistan, we have this brand as J Dot, and their identity is that they are Sharia compliant, or they are, following the rules of the Islamic rules. You will never see a woman's face or a man's face in any of J Dot's print media. They do not show any kind of faces in their print media, right? They will never ever use any kind of music in their videos, in their social media posts, right? They use, um, what do you call them? Mannequins for models instead of hiring models, because they have set this tone and they've told the story of spirituality and being, following a rule book, right? They will never associate themselves with an event that's not aligned with their values, right? So all of these things that a consumer is taking in, is looking at when they're just looking at you on social media, are the things that are of high importance. They're not just random things, right? There's every little thing, from the color to the music that you're putting in your video to the filter that you're putting on the picture. Everything is thought out, right? Guys, do we have more time, or should we just start taking questions at this point? We have discussed everything in a very different way, but this,
Yeah,
I will, yeah.
you can take more time if you want
Mm-hmm.
because the session was supposed to end at 3:30, but we started late. So it's up
Okay,
to you.
no problem. No problem. Okay. Okay. Let's do a little fun activity. We're building a brand. Everybody pick one product that they want to sell. Whether it's cookies, it could be a service, it could be a product. It doesn't have to be something that you're extremely passionate about. Just for fun's sake, just for the activity's sake, let's pick a brand that we want to create. Pick a product that we want to sell. Doesn't have to have huge meaning behind it. Everybody has picked? Okay. Let's go in the comment section and answer, who is the customer of this brand? Who are you selling to? I'm going to do I'm going to make my own consultancy. So I'm going to start this. What you're doing, what is your product, and who is my customer? So guys, the only difference between a business and a brand is a business is just a product and can have tens and thousands of alternatives. a brand is unique, right? It has its own unique experience. Each brand has something that's just theirs. Okay, so I have done my product. Let's start the conversation. The problem doesn't have to be a problem. It could be a want as well, right? What does a customer or what does your customer want from you? Guys, we have only 10 minutes, so hurry up. Don't have to do all five of them. Just start with one or two and then we're gonna go up. Okay, Abdullah, I like this brand. When are you launching? Inshallah, inshallah. Love that energy. Quran, love this idea as well. Anu, what is your brand? What would you launch? And who is going to be your customer? Guys, this is just the tail end. Then we have a next session. We can do this activity and have you guys cakes with healthier ingredients. Ooh, nice. Nice. Nice read. Great job. So Han, you've been quiet all along. Would you like to add what kind of brand would you be creating? What kind of product you will be selling to the customer? Okay. I'm thinking. Okay. It's good that we are thinking, right? It's good that we're just not going and jumping into the market without thinking about it. Guys, final moments. Do we have any questions and any comments, any discussion? None? Either I bored you guys a lot. Oh, okay. Whoa. Skincare brand, Alicia, love that. I have a question. If I start a clothing brand, how do I discover that my brand actually stands for? How do I create a story that feels genuine instead of just making one up? Abdullah, very good question. There are many ways to do it. Some people just do it with their gut instinct and do things that they're really, really passionate about. Okay. That's beautiful. That's great. But it might be difficult but it might be a slower progression towards that big success unless you don't involve some kind of market research. You don't ask around your friends, your social circle. You don't do a some kind of research, some kind of survey that, what do people actually like and what do they don't like about the existing clothing brands that they shop from, right? And then you take all of that data, you process it and you think, what does it mean to me and what can I solve from these problems that they've identified? And create something that is solving the customer's problem and also differentiating your brand with something that you're passionate about, right? So made up stories can do wonders if they're lucky. But then marketing and branding is not just, making up things. Everything is strategic. You have to do some kind of research. So for example, when I was in uni, we had this project to launch a brand and give it a feel and everything, and do everything for the brand, and actually put the product in the uni store. So what I started with the cookie business, and what we had to do, what they made us do was to do a survey in the entire university that, do people even like cookies? What kind of desserts we started from before even deciding that we are going to make a chocolate chip cookie. We started from, do people even like desserts? Do people even like Western, snacking desserts? Or do they like pure South Asian desserts like, gulab jamuns and stuff? Okay, great. Some people do like cookies and Western desserts. Do they even like chocolate chip cookies? Or are they more of like oatmeal people? Right? So we did extensive research, extensive speaking to people, form filling, surveys before even deciding it's going to be a chocolate chip cookie. And that was just based on what I wanted it to be, of course, but also it was supported by the little numbers we got. Had it been an oatmeal cookie, I would rather, have sold oatmeal cookies instead of chocolate chip cookies, right? So create your thought. Your thought should remain, strong and stable, but always have some room to change it based on what the reaction is coming from the audience. Small business entrepreneurs who's solving problems. Oh, I love this. I love this. Very good. In a very saturated niche, how do I make a brand that stand out other than the story? Burhan, excellent question. Excellent question. I love that. The fact is considered before starting a brand. Let's come to both of these questions. So one of the most saturated niches in our age group and our audiences that are, Gen Zs are clothing brands. I think every other person has a t-shirt brand, a hoodie brand on Instagram. They're selling out such clothing like cheap cakes, and obviously food brands as well. Every other day, you just hear of a brand launching, whether that's from the home or in the market. So when it's a very saturated niche, you still have you're always going to be having some kind of room to be unique. Even in that saturated niche, there are going to be pain points of the customer, right? So let's talk about t-shirts and clothing. I don't I'm not even sure how much, but I'm pretty sure there are over 200, 300 brands that are brands, not some Instagram pages that have their own website and Shopify pages in Pakistan that are selling these graphic t-shirts. Just customized print graphic t-shirts, export leftovers starting from there to, Tony tees and yada yada yada. There's so many of them. But even in that particular niche, when you speak to their customer, you'll say, "Oh, the stitching is not good. There's not enough variety. I can't find a graphic T-shirt, that has my favorite band on it, or there's a lot of delivery delays, or the sizing is not right." Right? So there's always going to be a tiny room for you to explore and to put your foot down. And the only reason the only way you can be successful in that is to do research before finding that litter. You can't just assume. You have to do some kind of research, some kind of a survey to find that tiny space that might, give you this huge opportunity. Even if it's super saturated, people are still coming out with clothing left, right, and center. The people are still coming out with more and more food trucks, more and more small canteen kind of food brands every other day. There's always going to be space. And in the country that we're and you are, I'm assuming that you're from Pakistan as well, Pakistan, South Asian, the whole region, there is a lot of opportunity, guys. There is a lot of opportunities because we, like Ma'am Noor said, we are not built to create our own businesses or start our own businesses. We are built to work for other businesses, right? People are just starting to realize that, there's space. There is a lot of space. The only thing that this region does is creating clothes and making clothing brands over and over and over again, right? Repeatedly, right? But even in that very saturated niche, you still have to be you.
Um,
Yeah, Manu.
I was thinking that the fashion, my idea for sustainable fashion wasn't exactly like a fast fashion brand. It was more like it was called Grey Root. We developed the idea, and
Mm-hmm.
because we had HSN for a business concept, so it was like really we developed a business idea and really thought about it. So basically, our idea was that we used to use old bridal dresses that the wedding dresses. People only wear them once, and they're worth lakhs of rupees, and they're thrown away in a
Yeah.
cupboard. A lot of memories. So our idea was to like convert those heavy bridal dresses into modern outfits and bags, like according to customization. Like you could have an entire consultation with the designer, and we could convert it into modern outfits, and that way there would be like less raw material dependency, and also you wouldn't have to like buy new clothes. You could convert those old ones, and it also because people in Pakistan, we care a lot about our culture, and I guess that would also like help us incorporate
Yeah.
modern culture as the old memories, and that was basically
Yeah.
her whole idea. Also, our research told us that like people spend millions of dollars annually in Pakistan on wedding dresses. So this was another reason why we thought this idea would be able to scale if we were to actually do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that idea. We can talk about it more. I'm huge on fashion sustainability, and going against or try to avoid fast fashion brands as much as I can. Most of the Western, especially in Pakistan as well, we think that, our Pakistani dresses are not made in that same way. They're not made in sweatshops. But think about it. How much are we paying to that karigar who's putting the embroidery on a dress? Is it enough to, you know, make his ends meet? Is that not what a sweatshop is? Is that not what all of these Western brands are doing? Right. And the amount of clothing that's wasted every single day and it's dumped in the sea is horrendous. So really, really good idea, Manu. Not just a sustainable business idea, but also working on sustainability actively. Um, Let me know if you need like more research on it, and would love to see you execute this in the near future, inshallah.
Yes, of course.
Okay, what are the factors to consider before starting a brand? We extensively everything that we discussed today, to be honest. Everything. The first thing is all of these 5 questions that you see, all of these. All of these you need to consider before starting a brand. This is your first step. And then the second step would be the imaging or the visuals of the brand. So once you have thought about and put it to paper that who is your customer, what problem are you solving, why does your brand exist, how do you help the customer with the brand, and how is life or how is the experience of the customer better after they've purchased your product or product from your brand. These 5 things are key. This is the first step. Okay. The second step would be what is the personality of the brand? What are the attributes of the brand? Okay. And after after the personality and attributes, what kind of feeling that the customer should feel when they look at your brand? So I'm gonna share this this whole pitch deck with you guys so that you can review and revise it, and if you need anything from this particular one, you can revisit it when you're hopefully one day starting your own brands. Any more questions? We have a question. I feel like these 5 questions are almost the same as in today's task. Yes. Yes. Any other questions, guys? Okay. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you all for joining. I hope that we
Yeah.
had a good session. I'm not sure if we did or not. but Harima, over to
Thank you,
you.
Ma'am Mariam. We had an amazing session. I really enjoyed it, so I'm pretty sure the participants enjoyed it as well. You
Thank you
had
so
something
much.
to say. You can continue, and um, I would be grateful if you can take a group picture when you're done.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. No, I'm just saying that, it's I've been looking at or silently observing and silently being a part of VM for almost what's now 6, 7 years. We started it in COVID, and it's lovely to see that this time around we have even a more diverse group. And it's always great to interact with younger minds. What are they thinking? How do they process things? What are their ideas? And I love that you all participated in some way or another. Um, Again, thank you so much for being patient and sitting with me for the last 2-ish hours. That's a long time, but it was great seeing you all and interacting with you. And obviously, thank you so much for Ma'am Noor, who has mentored us and taught us how to speak in this particular domain. So, yeah, lovely to see you and have this discussion with you guys. Let's do the group picture now.
Thank you so much, Mariam. I'm just going to open up my video as well. So thank you so much for the session. I was silently listening. But yes, just to answer Abdullah's question, I think now you guys would be in a better headspace to do task number one. I understand that the deadline is today, but take time today. It's all editable, so you can always go back to the task and edit it as we move forward in the journey of the Gen AI Fellowship. You'll be getting more opportunities to refine your work. So don't really worry about it. Just get through whatever ideas you're working on, but make sure, because we are going to incorporate AI now. So the next upcoming sessions are going to be a bit more technical. So those of you who are already tech savvy, for you, it'll be a little bit easier. For those of you who'd be trying the tech side for the first time, it'll be a little bit out of your comfort zone, but you'll be able to go through it pretty easily. So hopefully that's the goal. So Harima, we're good to take the group photo then. Cameras on, everybody. That'll be good. It goes in your profile. And then you'll be able to identify yourself where you're at. Okay. Is that everyone? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. We'll take one more just in case. Okay. Awesome. So thank you. We'll head back to the WhatsApp chat, and thank you so much, Arima, for moderating today so well. Take care, everybody. Thank you, Mariam.
Take care. Take
Take
care,
care,
guys. Bye bye.
everyone. Bye.